हरि ओम। ओ ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाय नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करो वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणो याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताय पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगताम् अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। So Bhagwan concludes his teaching. Bhagwan says that that Ishvara is residing in the heart of all beings. Ishvara sarva bhutanam riddesherjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya, and is making everyone move by his own Shakti, like a mechanical doll or like a puppet. All beings, they are sent in different directions, performing different actions by the powers of that Ishvara alone. So Ishvara sarva bhutanam riddeshe arjuna tishtati. Ishvara reside in our own heart, in the heart of all beings, as our own self. Our self is not different from Ishvara. I am that Ishvara. Soham Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. But now I am ignorant, and due to ignorance I identify with these upadhis and considers myself as limited being. So I should drop all these wrong notions and surrender to that Ishvara within. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata. With all my attitude, with all faith, love, compassion, I should surrender to that Ishvara, and by His grace alone, by His blessings, tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam. Bhagavan says you will attain that supreme peace and that supreme abode. So thus Bhagavan concludes his teaching, which he began from the second chapter onwards. So Arjuna was thoroughly confused in the battlefield. He did not know what to do. So Bhagavan taught him the path of Karma Yoga as well as the path of Jnana and Jnana Nishtha. Now Bhagavan gives the concluding remarks. So let us chant verse number 63. Bhagavan says, Iti te jnanamakhyātam guhyāt guhyataram maya vimbrushyetadasheshena yathechasi tatha kuru. Bhagavan says, ki iti means thus. He concludes. He says, whatever I wanted to convey to you, I have conveyed. I have given you the greatest of knowledge. Iti te jnanam akyatam. Thus I have given you jnanam, the greatest of wisdom. What type of wisdom? Guhyat guhyataram maya. Guhyat guhyataram is the among all the secrets, the topmost secret knowledge I have imparted to you, hey Arjuna, which is most beneficial for you, and through Arjuna, Bhagavan has given this knowledge to all of us. We should understand the value of this and really feel blessed and sincerely follow this teaching, accept and follow this teaching in our life. So Jnanam, what is this Jnanam Bhagwan has given to us, which is the most secret? See, to again summarize, we we are constantly, when we are born in this world, we constantly seek happiness in this world. That is what we naturally seek, not only human beings, but even the other beings. All of them, all of us, we seek happiness, and we seek freedom from sorrow, from pain, from suffering. So these are our natural instinct to be free of sorrow and to attain happiness. And since we only are aware of this world, we seek that in this world. We seek by performing different types of action. We seek by what you call acquiring different types of objects. We seek by indulging in different types of pleasures through our senses. We seek by attaining some sort of status in this world. But even after struggling throughout our life, many people, they struggle in different ways, but at the end one doesn't get that complete happiness which one is seeking. One doesn't become totally free of all sorrow. We get happiness at one time in this world, but the next moment we lose that happiness. The same object gives us happiness at one moment and gives sorrow in the next moment. So we are not very sure what is this nature of this world in which we are seeking this happiness. Is the world really has got that happiness in it? We don't know. Then again I say that I am seeking happiness. I want to become free of all this suffering. But do we really know who am I? What is my nature? Because in waking I experience myself as one person. In dream I experience myself as somebody totally different. In deep sleep I experience myself completely different, totally cut off from the world, from the body, from the mind. So exactly what is my nature is also not known. So our Shastras, they say that you have to find out who you really are and what is this world with which you are interacting. You should know the Swarup of yourself and you should know the Swarup of this world. Even a lot of devotees used to approach Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi and they used to express their sorrow, their pain, their suffering. So Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi used to tell them that please inquire, who is this person, who is this I, who is suffering, who are you? Inquire, find out exactly who you are. Then you will be able to resolve all your problems. So the Shastras, they say that all our suffering is because of not knowing ourselves as we are. And this is the greatest secret. However much we try by ourselves to know who I am, I fail to recognize myself. And however much I try to understand this world, I don't understand this world also. So it remains a deep secret. Even in the field of science, they are struggling from so many years to find out the secret of this world. The more they find, the more it seems mysterious. The world keeps on becoming more and more mysterious only. Because with all the experimentation and all the technique, when they are trying to observe this world, they are observing more and more the subtler level of this effect only. The cause of this world, the swarup of this world is not known and cannot be known through all our praman also. Similarly, we try to know ourselves. We meditate, we introspect, we do all sorts of experimentation on ourselves, but still that I is a great mystery. The world is also a mystery, and I am also a mystery. It's a topmost secret. So this secret is revealed in our Shastra. This secret is revealed in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan tells Arjuna that this world which you are looking at, the swarup of this world is constantly changing. The world is what you call asatyam, constantly changing. The world is jadam, inert. The world is having all these limited objects in it. The cause of this world is what is called Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And that Brahma alone is expressing as this world. That Brahma alone exists in this world. Just as the clay exists in the pot, Brahma exists in this world. But we are only seeing the world, we fail to recognize that Brahma. That Brahma not only exists in this world, but that Brahma is present in us also as our own self. So myself is Brahma, this world is also Brahma. So I am not different from this world. This world is not different from me. So that understanding of my own inner self as Brahma is that secret knowledge which Bhagavan reveals here, which is the very essence of the teachings of all the Vedas. The Tattvamasi, which is revealed in the Mahavakyas like Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Ayam Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma. That knowledge is systematically, logically, rationally is revealed in Bhagavad Gita. In so many chapters, in so many verses, we have seen it. And since it is so deep, so subtle, we have been studying it for the past 1 year, every day, almost every day. So Bhagavan says, I have revealed this knowledge to you here, Arjuna. Iti te jnanam akhyatam guhyat guhyataram maya. I have revealed this knowledge, which is the topmost secret. So I have done my work. I have imparted this knowledge. Now it is up to you. What you have to do, that Bhagavan is telling here. He says, Vimrushya etad asheshena. You contemplate, you what you call go through this knowledge again, think about it, contemplate, comprehend it completely. What you have done is Shravan. You have to do Mananam. Then that knowledge will become your own. It will not just remain as an information. It will not be just a data. It will not be just some slogan. See, nowadays in modern times, people love slogans. People love quotations. On the Facebook, on the WhatsApp, you will find people are sharing lots of quotations, their own or from picked up from here and there, quotations. It doesn't reach the antakarana. You can understand it only when we contemplate and comprehend it. It requires lots of thinking. Then only slowly the teaching enters our system. We come to really understand it. And that understanding will transform us. See, all the actions which we are doing, all the other upasanas, etc., are just meant for preparation. The most important thing is to understand. That understanding will transform us. See, when we just collect information, we hear it through our ears, we feel it with our mind, but when we contemplate, our intellect comes to comprehend it, understand it. That conviction happens. So therefore Bhagavan says, Vimrushya etad asheshena. Whatever I have told you, right from the second chapter, all the way here, Bhagavan says, Vimrushya, you think about it, contemplate on it, comprehend it. Asheshena, completely, without leaving anything. I have given you everything, all the teaching which is important, which is necessary. So don't leave something as not important. Everything is important. So go over it again, contemplate, understand. And once you have understood, then you do as per your understanding. Yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Then as per your desire, as per your thinking, as per your understanding, you act. See, this is a very important thing which Bhagavan says. The Shastras don't force us to do something. Bhagavad Gita is not forcing us to do something. Bhagavad Gita is only giving us that knowledge. And once that knowledge has come and we are convinced about it, then we ourselves can take appropriate decision based on our understanding and attain our supreme goal. Therefore here Bhagavan says, Yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Means whatever be your desire, you do like that. See, in the beginning Arjuna had expressed his desire that I don't want to fight. But here Bhagavan has given him the complete teaching with proper logic and proper praman. He also answered lot of questions which Arjuna had asked. So after giving him the complete understanding, Bhagavan is telling him, now you decide and you do. I have given you the whole map. The entire map is in front of you. The path is shown to you very clearly. and you have the choice. So you decide and you walk. Don't say that, oh, Bhagavan Krishna has told me, therefore I am doing it, but I am really not interested. No, no, no. You take that decision for yourself. Then only you will be able to walk with full enthusiasm. You will be able to pursue this with your total heart. So this is a very important point. So I am also telling all of you who are listening, many of you are listening right from the beginning. We started this journey on 21st April last year. And every day except on weekends, we have been studying this Bhagavad Gita regularly. Today is 252nd day. So lots and lots of things you have heard. But what is important is to go through all of them and contemplate for yourself and understand what is taught deeply. It should become your own knowledge. It should become your own. So Vimrushya etad asheshena. So you have to think about it completely, properly, and take the decision and walk this path. Yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Walk this path. So Bhagwan had revealed the whole thing, and he could have stopped here. But as I have mentioned, Ishvara is full of compassion, full of love towards, not only towards Arjuna, he has love for everyone. Suradam Sarva Bhutanam. Bhagwan is the well-wisher of all. He is the greatest of friend, greatest of master, greatest of teacher. Bhagwan is everything. Tvameva mata pita tvameva bandhus cha sakha tvameva. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Bhagwan is everything. So out of compassion, Bhagwan is saying, hey Arjuna, I will tell you the essence again, so that you don't miss anything. I will tell you the most deepest that knowledge I will reveal to you again briefly. So that's what Bhagwan says now in the next verse. He says, Sarva guhyatamam bhuyah shruno me paramam vachah ishtosi me dhridamiti tato vakshami te hitam. Bhagwan says कि सर्व गुह्यतमम भूयः शृणु. Hey Arjuna, you listen again, bhuyah, because I have talked about it many times before, but again I am telling you. See, the main teaching is repeated again and again, because it doesn't enter our head. We tend to forget very easily, very fast, because of our impurities of our antakarana. We tend to forget. We tend to miss out. We tend to disregard the important teaching. So Bhagavan says, Bhuyah, again, Sarva-guhyatamam shruno me paramam vachaha. You listen to my supreme words. The atyanta rahasyam, sarva-guhyatamam, the topmost secret you hear from me. See, to recognize and realize our own self, the only praman are the Upanishads. Upanishads are called Vedanta. So Vedanta is the praman to recognize myself as that Brahma. Otherwise, it can never be known. All our waking experience will not give us knowledge of the self. All our dream experience will not give us knowledge of the self. Even the most mysterious experience of deep sleep, wherein we experience Advaita, it is like nirvikalpa samadhi. Actually, nidra avastha or sushupti avastha is like nirvikalpa samadhi, which we attain effortlessly every day. There are people who follow the yoga marga and they struggle for so many years to experience nirvikalpa samadhi. Same nirvikalpa samadhi is experienced in our sushupti avastha. But even after experiencing nirvikalpa samadhi, we don't become free of our bondage. We don't become free of samsara. Because that experience of nirvikalpa samadhi doesn't eliminate the avidya. That avidya has to be eliminated in our waking by the Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan only. There is no other path. There is no other way. No amount of all these different types of meditation will help. Nanyah panta ayanaya vidyate. The Upanishad say there is no other path except this. So this topmost secret Bhagavan had revealed to Arjuna, and he says, I will tell you about it again. Sarva guhyatamam bhuyah shrunu me paramam vachaha. You listen to my this supreme words again. Why? Bhagavan says, Ishtosi me drudamiti, because you are very, very dear to me. You are extremely dear to me. Ishtaha asi. See, there are many beings in this world. And we are born in a particular family. So we have our family. We have our parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, relatives, friends. Many of them are so very nice, so very good towards us. But even all of them put together also will not be able to help us to become free of this samsara. They might help us in some worldly way. They might help us to get some vegetables from the market, or take us to some place, or do some work, or take care of us when we are not well. All this type of thing people can help us, or give us some knowledge of the worldly thing, some management about medicine, about law, about finance. But when it comes to becoming free of this samsara, none of them will be able to help us, because they are also bound in this samsara. Even the devtas are helpless. They also cannot give us moksha. Moksha we can attain only by the blessings of Ishvara. By his blessings only we come across a teacher also who can give us, reveal that knowledge of the Shastras. So Bhagwan is the greatest, what you call, friend and well-wisher of all of us. Bhagwan says, Ishto sime, you are very dear to me. Not ordinary dear. Dhrudamiti, you are my best friend or very, very dear. Dhrudam means very firmly, very intimately. You are very close to me. Ishtosi me dhrudamiti tato vakshami te hitam. Therefore, I will tell you again what is good for you, what is for your welfare. Hitam. Param jnana prapti sadhanam, this supreme sadhan by which you can attain that knowledge and become free from this samsara. Tadhi sarva hitanam hitatamam cha, and that alone is the greatest of all welfare. Nothing can be greater than this. So after saying this, in the next verse, Bhagwan gives the sar of his teaching, the very essence of what he has conveyed, he gives. That doesn't mean that we have to just take this sar and forget all his other teaching. We have to go through the whole Bhagavad Gita, but then keep this sar in our antakarana. So what is it? Bhagwan says, verse number 65, Manmana bhava madbhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyante pratijane priyosi me. Bhagwan says कि हे अर्जुना, मनमना भव, become manmana, means let your mind be totally occupied by me. Let your mind be occupied by me. Let me be in your mind. Manmana bhava. See, just as we talk about some object, like suppose tea is there and you put lot of sugar, then you say it is all sugarmay only. Similarly, in our mind lot of thoughts are there, but all these thoughts, when they are only of Ishvara, Ishvaramay, our mind should become totally absorbed in the thoughts of Ishvara. That's called manmana. Then madbhaktaha, you become my devotee. You have love for me. Express and have that intense and single-pointed supreme love for me. Madbhaktaha, become my bhakta. Then madhyaji, you do my seva. Yaja, mad yajana shilaha bhava. Yaja means to do puja, to do seva. Do my seva. And mam namaskuru, and do namaskar to me. 4 things Bhagwan conveys. So this fourfold sadhana you do. Then what will happen? Mam eva aishyasi, you will reach me, you will attain me. You will become one with me. You will attain me. You and me you will experience yourself as not different from me. You will experience that Aham Brahmasmi, that Shivoham, that Soham. You will attain me. Mam eva aishyasi. Only this 4 if I do? He says, yes. Satyante. This is the truth. This is the fact. I am not just bluffing. I am not telling some lies. This is true. Pratijane. I am promising you. This is my true promise to you. That if you just do this fourfold sadhana, you will attain me. That is my promise. And why you are promising me? Because priyosi me, because you are very dear to me. Therefore I am telling you something which is most beautiful, most important, and the supreme. There is nothing greater than this. There is nothing greater than this. No wealth is compared to this. No position can be compared to this. No achievement can be compared to this. No going to any lokas can be compared to this. This is the greatest. See, with all our other achievements, we continue to remain limited. We continue to remain bound. We continue to experience sorrow, pain, fear. Even if we go to some special world, that also will be temporary. We will continue to suffer. But if we want to become totally free of all suffering forever, to gain that infinity which is our own Swarupa, this is the path. Bhagavan says that you are dear to me. This is my promise that if you do this fourfold sadhana, Mam eva aishyasi, you will attain me. So let us think little bit more about this sadhana. See, manmana bhava mad bhaktaha mad yaji mam namaskuru. This namaskar is nothing but sharanagati. Namaskar is that we do namaskar, fold our hands. We do namaskar to elders, to our parents, to our teacher, to the devatas. What does it mean, namaskar? Namaskar is the attitude of saying that na mama, nothing is mine, and totally surrendering to that person. We do dandavat pranam. So here doing namaskar to Bhagwan is to totally surrender to him, not to keep any division between me and Ishvara. Totally what you call merge into him. Drop all holding on to other things. That is the meaning of namaskar. Namaskar is sharanagati only. Namaskar. But this namaskar is possible when we develop that supreme love for Bhagavan, that para-bhakti. We have seen that para-bhakti, which is nothing but jnana-nishtha. When we come to understand the real nature of Ishvara, When we come to understand the self in me is the self in all, is that Ishvara. Ishvara is not somewhere up in the heavens. Ishvara is present in this world as the world. Though Ishvara is present in the world, he remains hidden. He remains avyakta. See, just as the clay is present in the pot, Ishvara is present in this world. But here in case of this example, with our eyes we not only can see the pot, but we can also see the clay. And whatever happens to the pot, the clay remains as it is. Clay doesn't get destroyed. Clay doesn't change. Even if the pot breaks, clay remains. Therefore we say clay is the swarup of this pot. Similarly, Ishvara is the swarup of this world. But world we can see with our eyes. Ishvara we cannot see with the eyes. So he is present in the world, but he is hidden. He is present in us as hidden. So that self, which is so mysterious, which we experience in our deep sleep, that self is that Ishvara. So one should develop that supreme love for Ishvara, recognize Ishvara properly and have that love for Ishvara. So how can we have that love for Ishvara? Two ways. One is doing seva of Ishvara and constantly thinking about Ishvara. So seva is revealed here as with the term madhyaji, and constantly thinking about Ishvara is manmana. Bhagwan Shankaracharya writes, manmana means mat chittaha. That in your chitta, in your memory also, there should be only thoughts of Ishvara. One should get totally intoxicated with Ishvara's thoughts. One should be totally get addicted as though to Ishvara. Constantly think till one comes to understand, one comes to feel that identity. Let our mind be totally occupied by Ishvara Chintan. We can take help of his name, chant Bhagwan's name so that his thoughts are all the time in our mind. Ram, 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 Ram. Just like Valmiki ji did. Just like Tulsidas ji did. Siya Rama Sarupa Agada Anupa Bilocana Meenanako Jala hai. Tulsidas ji says that for me it is only Ram only. Ram, 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 Ram. Nahi kali karama na bhagati bibeku Ram naam avalambanaiku. So by taking the help of Bhagwan's whatever name, because Bhagwan has got so many names. Omkar is also Bhagwan's name. Ram, Krishna, Shiva, or so many mantras. So constantly keeping the thought of Ishvara in our mind, we will be able to develop that identity, we will be able to develop that rapport, we will be able to comprehend him at a deeper level as our own self. So manmana bhava. And simultaneously one should do Bhagwan's seva. So whatever our duties are, they have to be done as Bhagwan Seva. The focus should be on Seva. The focus should be on Bhagwan. Not exactly on the world or the work. No doubt the work is done for Bhagwan, but the focus is on Bhagwan. So by constantly doing the seva, our karma itself is Bhagwan Seva. Fulfilling all our duties, doing our swadharma itself is Bhagwan Seva. So by becoming totally Bhagwan Sevak, like Hanumanji, like so many other devotees. So with the practice of seva and constantly thinking about Ishvara, we will develop intense love for him. So man mana is constantly thinking about Bhagwan. Madhyaji is to constantly do seva of Bhagwan. This sadhana, twofold sadhana, if we do, we will become Mad Bhaktaha, Bhagwan's Bhaktaha. We will develop that supreme devotion for Bhagwan. Mere to Giridhar Gopal, दूसरो ना कोई रे. माता रामो मत पिता रामचंद्र, स्वामी रामो मत सखा रामचंद्र, सर्वस्वं में रामचंद्रो दयालु, नान्यम जाने नैव जाने न जाने. One should become God intoxicated, Ishvara intoxicated. Totally get connected, totally get attached to Ishvara. Ishvara Anurakti means total attachment, total identification with Ishvara. So when we practice this man mana bhava, mad bhaktaha, madhyaji, then that the culmination of that love will be in Sharanagati. When we have that intense love, then we will not be able to tolerate even a little bit of difference. Tad arpita akhila acharassan tad vismarane parama vyakulata iti. Narad Bhakti Sutra, Naradji says that when we dedicate ourselves, dedicate all our actions to Ishvara, and we develop that supreme love for Ishvara, we will not be able to tolerate even the difference even for a second. We will not be able to tolerate forgetting Bhagwan even for a brief moment. Tad vismarane parama vyakulata. So in the Jagrat Avastha, the devotee is totally tuned with Ishvara. So much so that when he goes to sleep, he dreams about Ishvara. And when he is in deep sleep, he knows that he is just sleeping with Ishvara only, totally identified with Ishvara. Again, when he wakes up, he is again in tune with Ishvara. So whether he is awake, whether dreaming, whether in deep sleep, the devotee is constantly in tune with Ishvara. Then there is no separation from Ishvara for this devotee. So Bhagavan says you become like that. Man mana bhava mad bhaktaha madhyaji. So do your work as seva of Bhagavan. Bhagavan doesn't say you give up everything or something, but become my sevak. But that seva should be an expression of your love for me, not as work, but an expression of your love. It's most amazing. I remember my uncle used to tell the story of his grandmother. She had great love for him, and she had become very sick, very ill, and she was lying on that bed and almost dying. So everyone knew that now any moment she will die. She had become weak and she was just on the death bed. And this uncle was not at home. He had gone somewhere to study and all. So he came to know. So he was called that you come, your grandmother is not well. So when the grandmother came to know that this grandson is coming, so she became happy. And when he came, she just looked at him with so much of joy, and she said, "Oh, you must be hungry. You have come from far away. You must be hungry. So let me cook something for you." And she just got up from that bed. And she cooked meal for him and fed him. The whole thought of dying and this and that, everything disappeared, and she was feeling all right, and she just cooked meal for him and served him with her own hands. See, this is all a great mystery. Even our body, our mind is so mysterious. When we have that love for Bhagwan, then nothing comes in the way. Then that love itself is the supreme emotion. Then all the actions, the feelings, everything is expression of that love only. Like that gopis, they had that love for Bhagwan, just pure love itself. Yatha Vraja Gopikanam. Like Bharatji had that love for Bhagwan. So when we develop that love, intense, supreme, unadulterated, single-pointed love for Ishvara, then the Sharanagati will happen. We will not like to remain away from him. We would like to experience our oneness. So that Namaskar, that Sharanagati will happen. We will experience our oneness with Ishvara. That Aparoksha Anubhuti will happen. So Bhagavan says, this is the essence of what I have taught you here, Arjuna. Ki man mana bhava mad bhaktaha mad dhyaji mam namaskuru. Mame vaishyasi satyante pratijane priyosi me. So work for me, think about me, love me, and surrender to me. Ultimately, we have to surrender to Ishvara. So Bhagavan gave the gist of his teaching in this verse, but still that compassion is there in Bhagavan's Antakarana. So in the next verse, he gives the essence of Sharanagati. He says, okay, I will tell you about this Sharanagati. So that is the final teaching, final shloka which Bhagavan will reveal. That very beautiful shloka number 66. Most important, most popular shloka that we shall see in our class tomorrow. So till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy. do your work, do your sadhana, and remember this verse, Manmana bhava madbhaktaha Madhyajimam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyante pratijane priyosi me. See, this verse is so important. Bhagwan had mentioned similar verse in the 9th chapter, the concluding verse of the 9th chapter. The first line is same. Manmana bhava madbhaktaha madhyajimam namaskuru Mame Vaishyasi Yuktvaevam Atmanam Matparayanaha. That is the verse number 34 of 9th chapter. The first line is same as in this verse. So more about this we will see in our class tomorrow. So see you tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram 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 Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Bole Siyava Ramachandra Bhagwan Ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.